Hello, Susan Yasui here, and today I have a pretty special reading for you. It's chapter 17 entitled A Wedding. So this is all fun news, huh? So remember, it's through the eyes of a child that I'm reading from, and it's my daughter speaking about her American and Japanese experiences, having myself as her American mother, and her father is Japanese. Okay, here we are. Chapter 11, A Wedding. I went to a Japanese wedding the other day. It was beautiful. We got to sit at the very important person table, maybe because they met each other through us a few years ago. Sitting at our table were also some big bosses from her work and from his work. The bride and groom's parents had to sit way in the back with the friends in the middle. The last wedding that I went to in America had the parents seated at the very front with the friends towards the back. I got to take a big bouquet of flowers up to the bride and groom, and many people from the very important table gave speeches during the party, including my mom. She wrote them a love story poem, and my dad translated it as she read it. It was so beautiful that even the groom started crying. How special. This wedding cost about 3 million yen, I'd say $30,000 at that time. It seemed we got our money's worth, though. We ate lobster and fancy fish and many special things. Also, there was all that beer and sake, which made the big bosses at our table much less scary. They started laughing and said how pretty I was. That big amount of money also covered the photographer. He was busy this whole time. It covered the invitations and the fancy programs we received at the door. There were also very beautiful flowers, and we got to take some home when we left. My piano teacher played the music, and a friend from Canada did the singing. But that cost would usually be part of the package, too. There was a candle service where they came around to each table, lighting the candles and bowing ever so low. I never saw so much bowing in all my life. They had a huge cake there too, but you know what? It wasn't real. I couldn't believe it. I had my eye on that cake from the time I first saw it. Then I found out it was fake. At the wedding I went to in California, the cake was real, and we all got served a piece of it. That is, except the top section, which the bride and groom took home, put in the freezer, and saved for their first anniversary celebration. Instead of wedding gifts, like crystal glasses, special silverware, kitchen tools, or other household goods as gifts, we put much money in white envelopes. The envelopes were decorated with special colored pieces of twine made in the shape of cranes and other things. I heard that the crane signifies long life in Japan, so maybe in weddings it means the couple will have a long life together. The gifts of money are used to pay for the ceremony and the wedding party afterwards. When the groom's parents first came down from Tokyo to meet the bride's parents here in Hiroshima, they gave her parents at least 1 million yen. The bride's mom used that to buy the household goods the new couple would need, like a beautiful wooden dining room table with chairs, a matching dish cabinet, a dresser for the bedroom, new futon sets, a washing machine, a vacuum cleaner, a rice cooker, iron, hot carpet, dishes, a dish dryer, an oven range, etc. This is such the same as what the guests and family would purchase for an American wedding in the way of gifts. Actually, Maybe this system is better since the bride got to go with her mother to choose what she wanted for her new home. There is a way of accomplishing this in America too. The bride can register with large local department stores so that when a wedding guest goes shopping for the gift, the department store can help the person choose what the bride has already said she would like to have. Oh, and then there is the dress, or should I say dresses. First, the bride wore the traditional white kimono with the big white hat for the wedding ceremony. I got to see this because they were outside getting their picture taken with the whole family just as we drove up in the taxi. It was a beautiful day. If not, they would have had their pictures taken inside. Then she changed into a colorful kimono that went over the white kimono. Next, she wore a beautiful red kimono. This is the one she bought for about 1 million yen for Adult Day when she turned 20 years of age. Last, she wore a gorgeous white Western wedding gown. The back went way out behind her almost. I almost stepped on it going to see her. All except the red kimono was rented. The rental cost was about 300,000 yen, but it would have been much, much more to buy them herself. The groom's traditional man's kimono cost 100,000 yen to rent. He also changed, but only once, into a nice suit. The suit was paid for from the gift money returned to his family by hers. Her parents returned 10% of the original 1 million yen gift from his parents. I think the inside ceremony is similar to the Western ceremonies, but I couldn't go in, not being blood related to either side. I heard that there was religious chanting by the shrine priest and then the drinking of sake, but the bride can't move her head down enough to really drink the sake because of her large headdress. The groom read their promise to do their best to be healthy and happy together and to try to use understanding with each other in their long lives ahead. It seems much like the promises made in America to love and to cherish until death do us part. Then they exchanged rings, which is new to Japanese wedding ceremonies. Oh, then there were the matchmakers. These are a husband and wife chosen by the families to sit up at the main table with the bride and groom. In this case, they weren't the real matchmakers, though, since it was my mom who introduced the bride and groom to each other originally. The man gave a speech at the beginning of the wedding party. I heard him say that my mom was the real Cupid. It's true. That made me feel proud. The matchmaker gave the bride 50,000 yen as a gift and 50,000 yen to the groom. Then they each gave him 100,000 yen in return for his role in ensuring their future success. When everything is accounted for, there is much money involved in this kind of ceremony. The Western weddings can get up there in cost too. But can you guess the cost of my parents' wedding? Only $20, which is about 2,000 yen. They got married in Hawaii at the city hall, all alone, with no family or friends or big party, but they were very happy just the same. My dad didn't speak any English yet, so my mom had to tell him when to say the I do. The official performing the ceremony seemed a little worried that my dad didn't know what he was getting himself in for. Probably he didn't, huh? All right. My American grandpa sent them a wedding gift of tickets for a tour of the various Hawaiian islands, so they took off together for that right away. They lived in Hawaii for 5 months before moving to California. But that is another whole story. Okay, there we have it. Now, this bride and groom are still my dear friends. So, all these years later, and I visit them now and again. Okay, so we next have chapter 18, and I'll read that to you soon. Thanks so much for listening in, and I hope you enjoyed the wedding story. I love weddings. Anyway, thank you. Bye-bye.